Hello? Oh. Okay, it's the 3rd of June, 2024. Hello, how are you doing? Now, this is I had the frame up too high last time. It's 3rd of June, 2024. I want to express some, a few experiences. I just got back from Los Angeles, just on 3 weeks ago. We returned from Los Angeles on May 20 we got back. In fact, May 21st, because we were supposed to get back May 20, but we got back to Sydney Airport. They said it's May 21st. I'm like, oh, I've lost today. So that was 14 days ago now, 2 weeks ago. Oh my goodness. Now, I put myself under a lot of great unnecessary stress before we got there, actually, and so where to start on that? Really importantly, where to start. So, okay, a few months before we got there, about 3 months before I got there, so we decided that we were going to go to Las Vegas to see the Stones, and originally I thought we could get a Greyhound coach. I thought we'll get a coach out there, and because I haven't driven on the other side of the road before. Now, I consider myself to be, I'm going to move this. I have to move it. This is going over here. So much better. Okay. I consider myself to be an excellent driver. I'm an excellent driver in Sydney, excellent driver, but I'm over in Los Angeles, over in America, on the other side of the road. I was very stressed out about it, and I thought, we'll get the Greyhound coach. And one night I was thinking, but if we're on the coach, all we're going to see in front of us is the back of another chair. Only got the side window to look out, and the bus driver, coach driver, only stops once in Barstow. And I thought the traditional way is to drive out there. And I thought, okay, so what I ended up doing, I said to Michelle, we could drive out there. She's like, yeah, we'll get a Chevy. I booked a car, not a Chevy. I did book a car, a small car. I booked it, and in the online Google forums, it said you don't necessarily have to have a credit card. They have to accept your Visa card. So I booked a car, right? So on the morning of the 10th, May 10th, turned up. We went to Gower Avenue in Hollywood, and we went down to Enterprise. I was thinking it was Orbitz. I walked in, and I said, are you Orbitz? And they said, no, we're not. Anyway, so I left, went back a few minutes later. I said, my name's Patrick Kieran. I have a booking. It turns out that they did have a booking for me. Orbitz, they're not Orbitz at all. Orbitz is a different company which takes other people's bookings, and it just takes them. And they had no idea who Orbitz was, no clue at all. We sorted that out. They are Enterprise on Gower Avenue in Hollywood, and they had my booking. And so I brought Michelle in, and they said, we just need some identification. And so she had my ID. I was actually quite stressed and still nervous about driving on the other side of the road. This is something I'm actually never going to do ever again. Never ever going to let myself be under that amount of stress ever again. It was supposed to be a wonderful, emotional, enjoyable trip. Los Angeles, Hollywood, I haven't been there for years. And I get there, I'm thinking, right-hand side of the road. I'm going to drive on the right. In 3 days' time, I'm going to drive on the right-hand side of the road. In 3 days, I'm going to drive on the right-hand side of the road. And it kept at me. I had stress. And I'd spoken to a couple of people about this. It's easy. Yeah, no. Got there. And they said, can we have a credit card? They weren't overly helpful. The guy at the front desk, he wasn't overly helpful. Gave him my Visa card. He went, oh, I need a credit card. So I said, oh, yeah, here it is. He said, oh, no, I need a credit card. I said, I don't use credit cards. I've never used credit cards. I don't use credit cards. I do not have a credit card. I haven't had one for many years. He said, we need a credit card. It was a blessing in disguise. I wasn't able to drive that day. But I'll never put myself under that stress ever again. And what we ended up doing was, later that day, because we decided to fly to Las Vegas, and we went to LAX, where we thought we could book a ticket on the spot. We couldn't book a ticket on the spot. we had to actually book the ticket online. Michelle gets online. Her battery on her laptop's very low. We meet a couple who are American, who are older than us, and what happened was, oh my gosh, we found a flight, but the booking code wouldn't go through, and there was a phone call to an operator, to a customer service person who was very unhelpful. He wanted to fuss with details that weren't fucking important. Anyway, and the girl, the woman at reception in LA, she says, I'm closing this counter in 3 minutes, you're not getting on this flight. We didn't get on that flight. So, fast forward, we went back over to that section there, sat down, there was a couple there, older than this American couple. They helped, he got on his phone. Michelle was a real trooper and all this, Michelle was a real trooper. And it took 2 hours, with all their help. We got a midnight flight to Las Vegas by the skin of our teeth. We got a midnight flight to Las Vegas, budget price, got there, my goodness. Got there to Las Vegas, yeah, and the taxi driver, get out through the airport, and there's a poker machine there already. Taxi driver took us to the liquor store. He stopped at the liquor store, he said, go and get whatever you want. I said, you stopped at the liquor store? He said, yeah, go and get whatever you want. I didn't, for some odd reason, I didn't get anything. I came back out empty-handed to the taxi. He said, didn't you get anything? I said, oh no, we went to the morning. He's like, oh. He said, okay, okay. And they take you to the liquor store first. Now, the Rolling Stones were fantastic. So that was a shit fight to get that ticket, because we thought we could just turn up to the box office at Allegiant Stadium and get the ticket. They don't do it at all. Michelle's mobile was on one bar. We had a shit fight to get that ticket. Michelle was an absolute trooper. We were stressed out. We got by the time we got the ticket, we were exhausted and had one bar of battery. We were just exhausted. Managed to calm down enough, and we got a fantastic price ticket. We got a fantastic price ticket. I think we paid 500 Australian for both tickets, for them all together, up on the side. We calmed down enough before the Rolling Stones came on to enjoy it. The American stadiums are very, very different to the Australian stadiums. I'm saying that it's in a positive way, fascinating and interesting. The Americans are very different to us, very, very different. But that's in a good way, in a positive way. Now, and so what a shit fight it was to get those tickets. Now, I said to Michelle, I want to see the desert on the way back. I'm booking a coach. I'm booking a Greyhound coach. She said yes. I booked a Greyhound coach on the way back. Got to the terminal. Now, got to the terminal about a bit late in regard. We got there 20 minutes before the coach was going to leave. Went onto the coach, and every seat in the bus had been taken by many, like, single people who were just taking up 2 seats. The driver said, you're going to have to sit at the front here, which ended up turning out to be the best seat in the house. So we sat at the very front of the coach and had the best view. It was the best view. It really was the best view, best seat in the house. Unfortunately, the driver of the Greyhound coach was quite unprofessional in the way that he did things. Just very unprofessional, and if he had communicated himself better and in a different way throughout the course of the day, things would have turned out better. Well, for instance, he got to Barstow, he said, I'll stop here for 30 minutes. After that 30 minutes, I get back on this bus and go. If you're not here, too bad. I watched him when he got back on the bus. He didn't do a head count. And then he just drove off. I'm like, he didn't even do a head count. He said, happens all the time. At Barstow, happens every trip. We lose someone. Not my responsibility. It's like, well, actually, wait, yes, it is. And if you were to communicate yourself in a different way and take 1 minute out to do a head count and to say certain other things, everything will be fine. But he couldn't communicate himself properly. He was a bit of a grumpy bastard. He was about 35 years of age, maybe 40, and really just wasn't communicating himself properly at all. And luggage was lost. Another passenger lost their luggage, and we helped her out. And a girl from London, and she was about 23. We got to Union Station, because we got to San Bernardino Station. There was an incident with another passenger, which didn't really have to take place if the bus driver had just had some common sense about him, which he really didn't. He just made a scene and made it all unnecessary. got to Union Station, and the London girl that was on the bus, her bags had been left at San Bernardino. We worked this out. And I said, you know what, you've got about an hour to get out. So for an hour we helped her out. Went through options with her. She ended up getting a Greyhound bus back to San Bernardino Station, and her bags were there. Someone else had claimed her bags, but she approached them, confronted them, and they conceded and gave her bags back. The thing is, if you're stressed, have concerns about driving on the other side of the road, don't drive on the other side of the road. Don't. Get a Greyhound. Or if you're feeling quite confident about driving on the other side of the road, perhaps rent a Chevy. But if you're concerned about driving on, don't get a Greyhound. Actually, get the Flix bus, the green bus. Get the Flix bus. Get that bus. Sit at the front. You'll have the best view in the house. Now, my phone company, I said to them, I went onto the website and chose international roaming. I thought it can't quite be as simple as that, and it wasn't as simple as that. And so, what should have been a very fun dream was me thinking, go driving on the side of the road, go driving on the side of the road. I managed to put it partly out of my mind, but I still go driving on the side of the road. Right. Now, I didn't have, my mobiles did not work when we got to LAX. They did not work. And also, Michelle takes medication, and what happened was, before we left, because I'd been there in 1998, but that's a long time ago. I was there in 1998, I was very young when I went there, everything's different now. And so, it was told to us, you're going to need to go through the Australian government and get a particular form so your medications will pass through customs. We went to our local doctor, he wrote out a letter for us saying, Michelle needs these medications. Boom, stamped it and all that. We get to LAX, we get to customs. What does the customs guy want? He just wants our flight schedule. All he wants is our flight schedule. They didn't care about medication lists or anything. He just wanted our flight schedule, and I'd forgotten to bring it. We had to go into, he was very patient, nice guy. He was about 35 years of age. He wanted that flight schedule. He was nice to us, but he wanted the flight schedule. And it took us a few minutes of rummaging through inbox to didn't find the actual flight schedule, but we found evidence that we did have a flight schedule, and he kind of looked at us both and went, alright, you can guess, we got screwed through by the skin of our teeth. All he wanted was a flight schedule. All he wanted was a flight schedule. And they didn't care about medication lists or whatnot. They just wanted that flight schedule. And he did ask me how much money I had. I think the only reason he asked me how much money I had was because, I got my line up. I think the only reason he asked me how much money I had was because of taking a bit of time to get that evidence that we had a return flight. Getting out into LAX, the company Wilshire Ride, don't go with them. Not that there's anything bad about them, they charge way too much money. Paid $140 Australian, booked a car through Wilshire Ride, and they emailed me saying, when you get to LAX, after coming out through customs and me getting your bags, text me. Well, my international roaming wouldn't work, so I can't text you. And so we got out, we found the number, which took us a while, and then we got stuck. So what was supposed to be, oh, Los Angeles, yes, and back, Los Angeles, yes, where's the number? And eventually, about half an hour later, a friendly local, let us use his phone quite happily. And I called Wilshire Ride, and the guy took another 20 minutes and he found us. And by the time that he found us, I was just so relieved that he'd found us, but it's not the way that I want things to go. It cost $140 to get, and it said, and on the website it said you'll be picked up in a luxurious car. It was just a shuttle, it was just a big shuttle, and it was just Michelle and myself. Don't go through Wilshire Ride, you don't need to. And the driver was a nice guy, but you don't have to pay that much money, don't do that. What you do instead is when you get through customs, you come out, they say LA exit in green. LA exit in green, come out through the doors into Los Angeles, breathe Los Angeles air. Good air too, by the way, different to 1998. And you go down to the free shuttle pickup, LA exit. I haven't been there, I'm just get on the free shuttle. It takes about 9 or 10 minutes. They'll take you to the area where all the Ubers and the taxis are. So if you don't want to go via public transport, which is what we get on to next, if you don't want to go via public transport, get an Uber or a taxi. It's going to cost you about $70 Australian to get out to West Hollywood, to get out to Hollywood, okay? Because we get a couple of Ubers while we were there, and they're really good. Now, public transport, if you want to do budget way, LAX, when you get there, when you get out into the Los Angeles air, it's so exciting coming into Los Angeles or Hollywood sign. Oh yeah, oh, that was really good, really good. But my mindset was stressed. Now, I was stressed. Get a flyaway, okay? Flyaway. They're not difficult to find, and you can use your Visa card, your Visa debit card. It doesn't tell you that. No one tells you this. But all you have to do, you say to the driver, my card, he'll point you to the machine inside the bus, tap it, $10, which is about 13 or 14 Australian. It'll take you to Union Station. It's a very nice coach, right? Because it's actually the coach that, the day that we went to Las Vegas, instead of getting a taxi, we went to Highland and Vine. Highland and Vine is my favourite station, subway in Hollywood, in West Hollywood. Highland and Vine, down to Union Station, and then the flyaway bus from Union Station to LAX. Fantastic. So what you do is, if you want to get public transport out to Hollywood, to West Hollywood, flyaway coach down to Union Station. At Union Station, I didn't bring the tap card down with me. Oh, it's upstairs. Get yourself a tap card. Get yourself a tap card, okay? Union Station. Press option A, and the staff are friendly, very friendly staff. Option A, and then add about $20 to it, okay? And you're going to put your card in and take it out straight away. Put it in your card and take it out straight away. Get yourself a tap card, and it'll cost you $1.75 to get out to. You can alight at, depending on where you're staying in Hollywood. I mean, most people staying in Hollywood, depending on where you're staying in Hollywood, depending on where you're staying. Hollywood and Western, or Hollywood and Vine, or Hollywood and Highland. And then what you do, you get a 217 bus along Hollywood Boulevard, then walk down the Sunset, and you can get number 2 bus along Sunset, which goes to Beverly Hills, and you can walk down to Santa Monica via North Beverly Boulevard or Crescent Avenue, one of those. You can walk down there from Hollywood. You can walk to Santa Monica from Sunset, from West Hollywood or Beverly Hills, and there's number 4 bus. There's number 4 bus that goes from Santa Monica Boulevard to Venice, to Santa Monica Beach, Venice Beach, Santa Monica Venice Beach. Okay. Public transport. The buses are fantastic. Now, before we left. Before we left, a lot of online forums, a lot of opinions. Opinions are like arseholes, everyone's got one. Before we left, right, videos and online forums saying stay away from the LA subway, stay away from the LA subway, stay away from it. And so for 2 days, we did, and then I said to Michelle, I want to ride that subway, and we did, and it was wonderful. We met there was a lot of very interesting characters. We met a few locals who were very friendly. Talked to the LAPD, they were friendly to us. Great stations. Loved the subway. Loved it. I think we even were on it once at night. No problem at all. And we got a lot of buses. The buses are terrific. Now, the buses are terrific. Stay away from the people with the CDs in their hands. People with the CDs in their hands at Mann's Chinese Theatre, stay away from them. Stay away, completely away from them. Walking along. I thought there's people offering tickets to a filming of Jimmy Kimmel or something like that. What they do is they come up to you, okay, with a bunch of CDs in their hand. And when they start speaking to you and it starts scribbling on that CD, it's all over. You like go to give them $5 or $10, you want to say, I want more, I'm worth more than that, I'm worth more than that. Stay away from the people with the CDs in their hands, to the point where we decided to walk on the other side of the road in that area, just because we didn't want to. I got caught twice. The second time I got caught, I got very angry, and the guy's like, "Oh, I'm worth more than that. I'm worth more." And I practically threw $4 at him. He's like, "What are you doing? Don't do that." He's like, "Don't do that. What are you doing?" I got really angry with him. Thrust $4 at him. Walked off with the CD. I put it down on the steps about 100 yards away. See, there used to be people there who were dressed up in a costume, and I intended to tip them. I intended to have a few conversations with them, but these people with the CDs ruined all that. They do ruin all that. And what ended up, I was going to say, the dash bus is free. We walked along Franklin Avenue to Beechwood. Michelle opted for the bus, and the dash buses are free. And the dash bus. The dash bus takes you up Beechwood, and you walk up to the Hollywood sign. The Hollywood sign, it's really nice up there. Beechwood Avenue is beautiful. It's really nice, really nice. And great walk up to the Hollywood sign. Is that light alright? Great walk up to the Hollywood sign. Fantastic walk up there. And what happened? Okay, so I took a bit of a wrong. Okay, I was supposed to go left onto Ledgewood, but I'd forgotten and I didn't. Michelle got tired out. And I said, I've been wanting to do this walk for a long time. And so Michelle walked back down the hill. She said, I'll meet you there later. But what happened was, I walked up. Michelle found a taxi, a private taxi, and she started going around in this taxi. I stayed there. I walked up there, where the Hollywood sign is. I stayed there for about 35 minutes, and then I walked back down. Michelle wasn't at the cafe. I said to myself, I will sit here for 2 hours. I sit here for 3 hours to take Michelle to get back to her. I didn't know where she was. And then about 15 minutes later, I thought, what I'll do, I'll go back up there quickly. Maybe she's back up there. So I start off on my walk back up Beechwood Road, and this car pulls in front of me. Michelle's in the passenger seat, waving at me. She'd found a taxi, so we actually cruised around the Hollywood Hills in a taxi, and then went over to Griffith Park in the taxi, and went to Griffith Park. We went to Griffith Park. Griffith Park is fantastic, really good, fantastic space exhibition there, and really good people to talk to. They're quite enthusiastic about talking about space. It was great. And I held a moon rock, and they're really, really heavy. The moon rocks are really, it's fascinating. It's interesting. And you can get the dash goes from Griffith Park Observatory. It goes back down the road, and where Hollywood Boulevard and Sunset, so where Hollywood Boulevard and Sunset Boulevard, they split off, is where we alighted. And there's the cinema there, the Astra Cinema. It shows a lot. How am I doing for time? Where's my glasses? How am I doing for time? Why know how I'm doing for time? Am I at the 27-minute mark yet? It's all blurry. Okay, it's all blurry to me. Now, now, we decided to get a number 2 bus that day back to, because we stayed on North Fuller Avenue. We stayed on Fuller Avenue at 1720 Hollywood Apartments, called the Integrity Hotel, but they call it the Hollywood Apartments. The host is Elia. Now, it was actually a little bit expensive compared to other rates we've found since then, but Elia is a good host. And the shower head is something to be, the shower head's a bit slightly, not overly great, and neither is the bathtub, but I'd still recommend the apartment, but the shower's a bit hay going. It's a bit hay going. It's a little bit like that. And there are other cheaper places in Hollywood, which I've looked up on Booking.com, but haven't been to. But I'd say 1720 Fuller Avenue is very worthwhile staying at, and it's just the shower head's a bit wonky. And public transport, the buses in Hollywood they're great. Walking around at night was so good. I walked around at night. I took a couple of long walks at night, and during the day I walked from, my aim was to walk from Beverly Hills to West Hollywood. Didn't quite get that done, but the whiskey walked from, went past the whiskey, but from the whiskey back to West Hollywood, back to where I was saying, it took a nice walk. Only took about half an hour, 35 minutes. Really good walk. There are homeless there. They're sort of here, there, and everywhere. Very sad. Helped a few of them out. It is very sad. They are there, and it's a very sad situation. I have a lot of empathy for them. A lot of empathy and sympathy for them. Helped a couple of people out. But the street people, I gave them a few bucks, more than a few bucks. You could do a decent amount, right? And there's a couple of good bars. There's quite a few good bars in Hollywood. I didn't get the Hollywood of yesteryear. The golden age of Hollywood, not really there anymore, but there is still quite a few good things there. I think I got the last of it when I went there in 1998. It was a different place in 1998. There were a lot of rockers there, a lot of hippies, and different people there. But now a newer generation has come in now, and that's what I was going to say. I heard a lot of hip hop in Hollywood. West Hollywood. I heard people with ghetto blasters and playing hip hop pretty loudly, and that was fun. The culture there it's not in a bad way. The culture there is a weird culture. How's that going for time? Do I have to stop this now? Let me just, I probably have to stop this now. Just press. I've only got a couple of minutes left on this. I'll press stop, and I'm started again. Okay, I started again. Let's see how we go this time. All right. There's been generational change. There was a few older rockers there, a couple of older rockers there. But for instance, like I would wear my Black Sabbath t-shirt, and I didn't, not that I necessarily want a reaction, but if I get a reaction, I'll have a conversation about that. And a couple of the older rockers there, I got a couple of comments. They're like, yeah, with that, and with an AC/DC t-shirt that I wore. But there's a lot of 30-year-olds around, because all the kids people that were born in 2000 or the mid-90s are now 30. Okay, and 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, and their culture's totally different culture. They don't embrace the. Why is that camera on that angle? Okay, so the millennials, they're not embracing heavy metal. I'm not too sure what they're embracing, but the Americans are very, very different from us. Totally different from us. That's not a bad thing. That's a general observation. It's not a bad thing. It's a very interesting thing. It's kind of fascinating. But they're not like us. They look different to us. I don't know what music they listen to. I've no clue what music, but in Hollywood itself, I heard a bit of hip hop and Mexican music and Spanish music, sort of mixed, but a lot of hip hop. But in the bars themselves, I heard some rock and roll in the bars. When we went to the actual bars, they were playing 80s retro. They were doing that. I went for long walks. Oh, the long walks are good, because there's a 212 bus you can get from Woodbury. It takes you down to Beverly. Oh, if you're into art supplies, Blick. It's a place called Blick, okay? And Michelle went there. And there's a lot of stuff that she got from Blick that you can't get in Sydney. Simply cannot get it, or in Sydney it's 4 times the price. And she went to Blick Art Store, and she spent about 2.5 hours there while I took some long walks down to near Wilshire. I would have walked across to Hancock Park to Hudson Avenue and looked for Ozzy's house, but I didn't realise how close I was to it until I looked on the map. I'm like, oh, it's so close. I could have just walked that way and then down that way. But anyway, I took some long walks. Love my long walks. But yes, it's very difficult to explain a different culture. It's really cool over there. It's different air. It's quite breathable, actually, quite breathable. But there's quite a few 30-year-olds and 40-year-olds around. They've grown up now. When I was there in '98, it was still an older generation. And I mean, I saw a few hippies there in '98. No, there weren't any hippies there this time. In fact, I think some of those 30-year-olds looked at me as I was a hippie. Young, handsome rock and roller as I am. So yes, uh, anything else I could say? Anything else? Go for long walks. Use the buses. Go to the Rainbow. Go to the Whiskey. Uh, Go to the Rainbow. Go to the Whiskey. Go to Harriet Street, where Lemmy used to live. Go to Harriet Street. Walks. I get my the thing is, I get my bearings very good when I go on walks. Very good when I go on walks. We did take the Hollywood bus tour. Okay. Yeah, look, it's okay, but it looked kind of cheap on there, and it obviously felt very touristy, and it just doesn't feel right. Whereas if I'm walking along, it feels much better. I try not to look like a tourist too much, but the Hollywood bus tour, it was good, but it doesn't feel right. And I could just do all that on foot, on foot. I can do it all on foot. I mean, walking along Mulholland Drive through the Hollywood Hills might be a bit of a challenge on foot. I haven't tried that. Didn't actually do that yet on foot, but we did on the tour bus in the Hollywood Hills, and that was fantastic. But once again, I don't want to feel touristy in that sense, and we didn't. Got the view, got everything, but didn't feel right. Yes, and I just prefer to do it on foot. I walked into Bel Air. Whew, another dimension. Trying to do the kind of magical kind of looks. It's a bit weird in there. It feels a bit lonely in there. A bit lonely, yet a weird, rich feeling, and it's like whoa. It's like wow, and yet slightly clinical. It has beauty to it and mystery, and yet a bit lonely in there. Yeah. Okay. So, if you're so when you get to LAX, if you've got no reception, just go to LAX, right, Uber or taxi, go T-Mobile, and get yourself a starter pack. If your international roaming doesn't work, go to T-Mobile, okay? And if you're concerned, worried about driving on the other side, don't. Walk it, bus, taxi, coach out to Vegas, alright? Okay, alright. So, the other video, the frame was too high and it was bothering me, so I thought, just do it again. So, yes, Hollywood, Los Angeles, yes. So, hey, look, you can see everything on foot. Great to walk around. Yeah, great to walk around. Or bus. Get the bus, whatnot, yes. I've covered everything I needed to cover. Oh, yeah, the subways are great. So I really liked Hollywood and Vine. I like Hollywood and Vine. Hollywood and Highland's cool. I really liked Hollywood and Vine. Hollywood and Vine was good. Okay, yes. Right. Yes. I took a walk up Coanga Avenue, and that was good. I walked all around. And the night walks were good. Thank you for Midnight Charlie Man, Patrick Kieran. Thanks for watching.